What if I told you that the story you see on the news is only a fragment of the truth? That behind the headlines, statistics, and political debates, there's another Gaza, one the media rarely shows you, a place where life continues between the cracks of destruction, where children still laugh in the rubble, families share meals under candlelight, and artists paint visions of hope on shattered walls. This is the Gaza hidden beneath the noise, a world of resilience, creativity, and unbroken spirit. For years, global media has painted Gaza only in images of war and despair, but the people here are more than victims. They are teachers, poets, doctors, and dreamers. They live each day balancing pain with courage, loss with love. In this video, we go beyond the headlines to uncover the humanity that survives when everything else falls apart. This isn't a story of politics, it's a story of people, of what it truly means to be alive in one of the most misunderstood places on Earth. Welcome to the Gaza the world doesn't see, the real Gaza. In Gaza, life doesn't pause. Not even when the world collapses around it. Every morning, as the sun rises over shattered buildings, people step out into streets lined with debris, determined to keep living. You'll find children walking to school through dust-filled alleys, carrying books instead of fear. Mothers sweep the doorsteps of half-standing homes, as if cleanliness itself were a declaration of hope. Shopkeepers reopen what's left of their stores, selling bread baked in wood-fired ovens because electricity is scarce. Despite the destruction, there's a rhythm here, a heartbeat that refuses to stop. Families gather around small gas stoves to share tea, their conversations filled not with despair, but with plans for tomorrow. You might see young men repairing broken windows, or women planting herbs in cracked flower pots. Every act of normalcy becomes an act of resistance, a quiet way of saying, we're still here. The media often shows only the chaos, the smoke, the sirens, the ruins. But what it doesn't show is the unshakable strength that grows from it. Gaza's people have learned to build life from ashes, to turn survival into art. Amid the sound of drones, there's also laughter. Amid ruins, there's still music. And amid pain, there's pride. Daily life in Gaza isn't just about endurance, it's about defiance. It's the courage to live fully in a place where the world expects only despair. And that courage, unseen by most, is what keeps Gaza alive. When everything is taken away, what remains is the strength of people standing together. In Gaza, resilience isn't just a word, it's a way of life. In neighborhoods where buildings lie in ruins, communities become families. Neighbors who may have once been strangers now share food, shelter, and stories under the same damaged rooftops. When one family loses their home, another opens their doors. When the power goes out, entire blocks light their streets with candles, gathering to talk, laugh, and remember that they still have each other. This spirit of unity runs deep. Volunteers risk their lives to dig survivors from rubble. Youth groups organize food drives and deliver aid to those in need. Doctors and teachers work without pay, knowing that their service is the heartbeat of their people. In every corner of Gaza, humanity refuses to fade. You'll see women cooking in communal kitchens, preparing meals for hundreds who have nothing. You'll see young men repairing roads with their bare hands, not waiting for anyone's permission to rebuild. And you'll hear prayers whispered at dawn, not for revenge, but for peace and strength to continue. The resilience of Gaza's people is not born from comfort, but from an unbreakable belief that life, no matter how hard, is worth protecting. It's a reminder that true power doesn't come from weapons or wealth. It comes from compassion, from unity, from love that survives even when everything else is lost. In a world that often looks away, Gaza's people look toward one another, and together they rise. In Gaza, where walls crumble and silence often follows destruction, art becomes a voice that cannot be silenced. It's more than creativity. It is survival, rebellion, and remembrance. Every brushstroke, every song, every poem tells a story the world doesn't always hear. When words are censored and movement is restricted, expression becomes the only form of freedom left. On the walls of Gaza's cities, vibrant murals bloom like defiant flowers in the dust. Artists transform ruins into canvases, painting scenes of hope, unity, and endurance. A child's face smiling through cracked concrete, a dove carrying the colors of freedom. Each piece reminds the world that beauty can exist even in devastation. Musicians gather in courtyards, strumming guitars or playing the oud by candlelight, their melodies echoing resilience through the night. Writers and poets, some too young to remember peace, use their words to preserve memory, to remind others that behind every statistic is a human soul. Their art is not just expression, it's protest. It says, "We are still here. We still dream. We still create." Even amid rubble, Gazans find ways to celebrate culture through dance, theater, photography, and digital storytelling. Art becomes a bridge between pain and possibility, transforming trauma into something that speaks to the world. In Gaza, resistance doesn't always look like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like a child drawing with broken crayons, an artist painting on a fallen wall, or a poet writing by candlelight. Art here is not an escape from reality. It is the most powerful way of confronting it. In the heart of Gaza's struggle, it is often women who hold the world together. When everything else collapses, homes, schools, streets, it is their hands that rebuild life piece by piece. They are the quiet strength behind every act of survival, the protectors of family, memory, and hope. You'll find them in the crowded hospitals, tending to the wounded with calm determination. In the schools, teaching children lessons by candlelight. In the markets, trading what little they have to feed their families. And at home, comforting their children through nights of fear, whispering promises of safety even when the walls tremble. These women carry the weight of both loss and life. Many have lost husbands, brothers, or sons, yet they continue to nurture entire communities. They organize relief efforts, cook for hundreds, and lead local initiatives that keep neighborhoods alive. Their resilience is not loud, but it is unshakable. There is a quiet revolution in every mother who refuses to give up, in every young woman who continues her studies despite the odds, in every grandmother who tells stories of a homeland remembered. Through their courage, Gaza endures. The world often sees them only as victims, but in truth, they are the backbone of survival. Their strength is not born of choice, but of necessity, and their love is the force that keeps life moving forward. In Gaza, the power of women is not spoken, it is lived every single day. In Gaza, childhood is both fragile and, honestly, extraordinary. The children here grow up surrounded by the echoes of conflict, yet somehow, they never lose their light. Amid the ruins, they find places to play. A pile of rubble becomes a castle. A broken tire turns into a game. Their laughter rings louder than the sound of drones, reminding the world that innocence still exists, even where peace does not. These children draw their dreams on the walls, bright suns, open fields, families smiling under blue skies. They imagine a life beyond the borders that confine them, a world where they can run freely, go to school without fear, and sleep through the night without the sound of explosions. Their drawings, simple yet profound, tell a story of hope that refuses to die, Teachers see it every day, students who study by flashlight, who memorize lessons even when classrooms are gone. They dream of becoming doctors, engineers, artists, and storytellers, not to escape Gaza, but to heal it. Yet beneath their smiles lies a deep wisdom, an understanding of loss that really no child should know, and still they choose joy. They play, they sing, they dream, because for them, hope is not a luxury, it is survival. These children are Gaza's future, its heartbeat. The world may see them as victims of circumstance, but in truth, they are the living symbols of resistance. Their innocence is their defiance, and their dreams, no matter how impossible they seem, are the promise that Gaza will rise again. For most of the world, movement is freedom. But in Gaza, even that is a dream tightly bound by walls and borders. The blockade has turned daily life into an endless negotiation for survival. Every entry and exit is controlled. Every shipment of medicine, food, or fuel is a question mark. And yet within this confinement, life continues. Stubbornly, beautifully. Electricity flickers for only a few hours each day, forcing families to plan their lives around brief moments of light. Hospitals ration power between operating rooms and incubators. Clean water is precious, often carried long distances in jugs. Fishermen brave restricted waters, risking their lives to bring home a catch that might barely feed their families. The blockade touches everything, from the food on the table to the dreams in a child's heart. But what makes Gaza remarkable is not what it lacks, but how its people endure despite it all. Gardens bloom in makeshift containers. Students attend online classes when the internet works, eager to connect with a world they cannot reach. Craftsmen recycle ruins into new creations, building what they are not allowed to import. The blockade tries to silence movement, but it cannot silence the will to live. In every home there is laughter between power cuts. In every street, there is music that defies despair. Gaza's people have learned to turn scarcity into strength, to transform limitation into creativity. Life under blockade is not just survival, it is quiet resistance. The daily choice to live fully, love deeply, and hope fiercely, even in the face of walls meant to break the human spirit. In Gaza, where the wounded often outnumber the walls still standing, healers are the quiet heroes who hold the line between life and loss. They work in hospitals with shattered windows and dwindling supplies, performing miracles with what little they have. Doctors operate by flashlight, nurses sleep on floors between shifts, and paramedics race through bombed streets knowing every call could be their last. Yet they keep going, not because they must, but because compassion leaves them no other choice. Their hands tremble from exhaustion, but never from fear. In overcrowded wards, they whisper words of comfort to the injured, offering strength when their own hearts are breaking. Many have lost their own families, yet return to work the next morning, tending to the pain of others. Every life saved becomes an act of resistance, a declaration that even in chaos, humanity survives. Outside the hospitals, volunteers and first responders form a lifeline for their communities. They deliver food, rescue the trapped, and care for the elderly. Their courage is rarely seen on screens, but it is what keeps Gaza alive. These healers, doctors, nurses, medics, and ordinary citizens are more than professionals. They are guardians of life in a place that sees too much death. Their voices, steady and compassionate, remind the world that healing is not just medical. It is moral, spiritual, and deeply human. In their courage, Gaza finds its heartbeat. And in their care, the world can still see what mercy looks like when everything else falls apart. In a world where every moment can be captured and shared, it's astonishing how much of Gaza remains unseen. The global media shows flashes of destruction, the smoke, the explosions, the numbers, but rarely the stories that breathe behind them. The lens turns away before it captures the laughter in the ruins, the tenderness of a mother's hands, or the unbroken spirit that lives in every street. What reaches the world is a filtered truth, stripped of depth, stripped of humanity. This silence is not accidental. Conflict is easier to report than compassion. Numbers are safer than names. But in choosing what to show, the media also chooses what to erase. The beauty, the resilience, and the ordinary humanity that refuses to disappear. The world sees Gaza as a headline, not a home, as tragedy, not as life. Yet inside Gaza, stories bloom like wildflowers through concrete. Local journalists, filmmakers, and citizens risk their lives to share the truth, capturing moments that the world's cameras ignore. They post images, record testimonies, and tell the world, look closer. Their voices echo through digital corridors, fighting censorship and fatigue, demanding that the world see Gaza not as a war zone, but as a community of people who love, create, and dream. The silence of mainstream media leaves a void, but into that silence, truth is still spoken by those who live it. Gaza's story doesn't need to be rewritten, it needs to be heard. Hope in the next generation. Amid the rubble and the restrictions, a new generation is quietly rewriting Gaza's story. They are the children who grew up knowing checkpoints instead of playgrounds, and power cuts instead of stability, yet their dreams stretch far beyond the borders that confine them. These young people are the beating heart of Gaza's hope, the living proof that even when the world closes in, the spirit can still expand. With cameras, notebooks, and laptops, they are documenting their reality and sharing it with the world. Teenagers become storytellers, filmmakers, and digital activists, showing life as they live it, not as the world imagines it. They speak multiple languages, connect online with peers around the globe, and use creativity as their form of resistance. Through social media, they bypass traditional news filters, building bridges of empathy one post at a time. Many study by candlelight, determined to become doctors, engineers, and artists who will one day rebuild their homeland. They carry both the grief of the past and the vision of a better future. And even though they've inherited scars, they refuse to inherit despair. This generation doesn't just dream of survival, they dream of transformation. They are planting seeds of change in a place where the soil has known too much pain. Their hope is not naive, it's revolutionary. It's the belief that Gaza's story isn't ending, it's evolving. In their eyes, the world can see the future, a future that demands to be seen not through the lens of war, but through the light of possibility. This is a call to reconnect with our shared humanity. Beyond politics, beyond borders, beyond the noise of headlines, there is something deeper calling us all. It is the reminder that Gaza's story is not just about a place, but about what it means to be human. Every image we scroll past, every statistic we hear hides a heartbeat, a father, a daughter, a dream. To reconnect with Gaza is to reconnect with our own humanity, to remember that compassion is not selective and that empathy does not stop at a border. When we look closely, we see ourselves in their reflection. Parents protecting their children, friends sharing laughter, young people chasing purpose. The people of Gaza are not symbols of tragedy. They are, honestly, mirrors of resilience. Their strength is a lesson for the world, that even when everything is, stripped away, dignity can still stand tall. To reconnect with humanity means to listen, to care, and to refuse indifference. It means amplifying the voices that are often silenced, supporting truth over narrative, and choosing understanding over judgment. Because the moment we forget the human face of suffering, we lose part of ourselves. Gaza reminds us that compassion is not weakness, it is courage. It's the power to see the world not through fear, but through love. And if we allow that love to guide us, then maybe, just maybe, peace won't be a distant dream, but a shared reality. This is more than a story of Gaza. It's a call to awaken empathy, to see beyond the noise, and to remember that we are all connected by the same fragile, powerful thread of humanity. In the heart of Gaza, life continues, fragile yet fierce, scarred yet unbroken. Through destruction, through silence, through unimaginable loss, the people of Gaza remind the world what true strength looks like. Their courage, creativity, and compassion stand as living proof that even in the darkest corners, light still finds a way to shine. If there's one message to take from this story, it's this: humanity is not defined by comfort, but by how we care for one another when everything else falls apart. Gaza is not just a headline, it is a heartbeat, a lesson in endurance, and a mirror reflecting what we all share: the desire to live, to love, and to be free. So, to everyone watching, thank you for staying until the end, for choosing to see beyond the news, beyond the noise, and into the soul of a people who refuse to be forgotten. If this story moved you, share it. Let their voices be heard. Because awareness is the first step toward change, and compassion is the first spark of peace. This is not the end of Gaza's story. It's the beginning of understanding.